What's something that everyone should know about sex before they reach the age of 18? Sex is something you do with someone, not something you do to someone. Don't be silly, wrap your willy. Guys, at some point even when you're young, your dick just won't work when you want it to. Whether because of alcohol, anxiety, circumstances, whatever, accept it, explain to your partner the reason why you think it's happened, and move on. A good partner will understand completely and help you through it. If that partner doesn't understand or belittles your manhood because of it, find a different partner. To add to this, besides occasional ed being normal, it doesn't have to end sexy time. Often, continuing with foreplay can be enough to get you back in business. Just give your little partner a short break. Sometimes, he just needs a breather. Yes. Plus, given that your fingers are probably going to do a much better job of getting a female partner off than your cock, you may well come out ahead. That having sex for the first time doesn't have to be some goal you try to achieve before high school ends or on some kind of deadline. I was 26 when I had sex for the first time. It was quite forgettable, but it did boost my confidence a little bit. I dreaded the moment I'd be in a relationship with someone and then have to tell that I'm still a virgin. But thankfully she was cool with it, or that's what she said at least. If someone tells you something like this, with no evidence to the contrary, just believe them. Don't make life harder for yourself by second-guessing intentions, etc. If it was a white lie, she was willing to do that for you so you could feel normal about it and not worry. Don't throw that away by still worrying about it. Accept the gift they are trying to give you. The person you're having sex with may be in love with you. Act accordingly. On that note, don't mislead people just to get some. If not for their feelings, then do the right thing so you don't risk your own reputation. Porn is not an instructional video. How else will I learn how to deal with lemon-stealing whores? Or when your in-laws get stuck in a washing machine? Don't panic that you aren't having it. It's not all like the movies. Teens aren't banging everywhere all the time. Go at your own speed. Sure, teens are having sex and some of them are having a lot of sex, but not everyone is having sex all the time and you are the only one left out. There are loads of people who feel the same way as you. The only person in your school not having sex, so something must be wrong with you. This isn't true. Everyone is different. You may see a couple walking down the hall who have been dating for a year and only kissed. You may see a girl who you think is a virgin who is gangbanging dudes at the weekends. My point is that you shouldn't get upset or panic that you aren't having sex at the age of 14 to 18 because it'll happen when it happens. Just needed to clear it up for people saying that everyone is doing it 24/7. Looking back at my school years, if I had focused on my classes a little more than I focused on frantically trying to shag all the time because my classmates may have been, I would have done better at school. Focus on you, and when the time comes, make sure you enjoy it for what it is. Two consenting people being intimate and having fun. Not two people desperately trying to fuck so they can say they have. I remember reading an article saying that sex at college follows the 80-20th rule. 80% of it is being done by 20% of the population. That 20% is very visible. But most students aren't going at it like jackrabbits. I will share what my uncle shared with me. Wrap that rascal and she comes first. The ambiguity in the word, shared, is making me very uncomfortable. Would you mind clarifying? Ha! My dad was much older when he had me. His youngest brother was very worldly. He was a Marine, and a big reason on why I joined. Ever since I was 10 or so, he took it upon himself to be 100% honest with me about life and how to be a man. When I got to HS, he had a sit down with me about sex. He counseled me on the truth about men and women. He told me few things that helped me have a great time. The top two were what I wrote. Always wear a condom, and, if some pretty young thing decides she is going to share herself with you, don't make her regret it. You make sure she comes first and it will pay dividends tenfold to you. I figured to shrink that down. It matters more who you're having sex with than just if you're having it. Yes. And your goal should be to make your partner feel good. That should in turn make you feel great as well. You don't have to have sex. You don't have to want to have sex. You're not leading the other person on for going on a date and not wanting to have sex at the end. This applies to both men and women. I needed to read this. I've been turned down by many guys because I wasn't comfortable having sex right away. Hopefully someday I'll find someone who's willing to get to know me more first and allow me to be more comfortable. I hope I meet more people who think like you. Everybody, for the most part there are some exceptions, gets horny and wants to have and enjoy sex. It is not something that boys need to trick girls into or take from them or trade for. And vice versa, treat people like human beings with their own lives. Wants and needs, and if you find someone you have a good connection with, focus on making it special for both of you. Building each other up. Enjoying the present you both are in rather than stressing about the future, and figure out what you can do to add to that person's life. Not take from it. Also, if that person isn't doing that for you, ask yourself if it is something that is actually good for you. That is more about relationships in general, TBH. But the framework applies to sex. Thank you. It is one of the most annoying and depressing things I had to put up with as a woman who enjoys sex, that I was constantly on the receiving end of guys who were trying to trick me into sex even though I was already there. Ready and enthusiastic about having sex. Like, dude, you don't need to buy me a Long Island iced tea. I was already down to have sex with you and now you're making me feel really icky. Bonus points for if they act like they won when you give in. Like, yes. Hello, I'm here to have sex too. You didn't flummox my female brain with your man tricks. I'm here because I wanted to be, but now I don't really want to be anymore. It's all good if your first time isn't amazing. You will likely find sex getting better and more pleasurable the more you do it. I was going to say this, too. Been with my now husband 14 years and it keeps getting better. Also, yoga does make you more flexible and makes it feel better, at least for him. I don't think it made a difference for me. Make sure you use enough lube. Not everyone self-lubricants the same way. So making sure things aren't dry can help avoid soreness later. Also be aware of the type of lube. Oil-based lube will eat condoms. Water-based lube does not just wanted to add that oil, and silicone-based lubes also destroy silicone toys as well. Don't want to be tearing up expensive toys with the wrong lube. Girls, make sure you pee after. Yes. Adding on, I've also heard men should too. It's just that women need to because their urethras aren't as long as a man's, so they are more prone to HDMIs. 99% of what you see in porn doesn't happen in real life. So talk to your partner before you try new things. Unless you're brave enough, or get a job working in it. Process, not product. i.e., enjoy the sex. Don't just do it for the orgasm. Stress is not your friend in sex. It can be vanilla and boring with someone you love is better than crazy sex with that hottie who just wants to hook up. Girls, what comes in must come out. Lay down a towel if you aren't using a condom. This was a, oh, duh, moment for me as soon as I sat up. Foreplay is sex, too. And for my friends who are loving on vaginas. You need to pet that body until that pussy is dripping and is opening up for you. Ideally, you should never have to shove yourself in that first inch. Or spread those lips. Make a want will won't list with your partner. Compare lists. Want is the list of stuff you have to have that you don't want to compromise on. The will list is stuff you don't necessarily want yourself, but stuff you are willing for them. Won't is stuff that's off the table. Revisit your lists regularly. Sometimes stuff changes. They have apps for this now, too. This is basically just talk about it. After sex, tell your partner the stuff they did that you really want them to do again. Be specific. Otherwise it probably won't happen again. You have to work it and fight for good sex. There is a standard high five afterwards. If you don't do it, you'll look foolish and your partner will think you're inexperienced. That's why she said, "You're done already?" I forgot the high five. She was just being polite. I guess I didn't want to tell me directly. If she's about to come. Don't change your rhythm. You're doing it right, man. Just keep going. Just to go off on this. Do people usually announce to each other when they're going to come? In my sexperience, if I'm close and think someone is going to change tactics, I'll announce that I'm close. If I'm with a man who hasn't been my sexual partner for long, I do appreciate if they announce it, especially when I'm giving them head. If I've been with them long enough, I can tell anyway. Actually wear a condom or insist your partner does until you know them well. I've seen a lot of bad shit from people who got into the habit of going, whatever, one too many times. STDs suck, and so does having to call old partners and tell them in case they have it too. Pregnancy with people you don't want to see again, and abortions are really hard to go through too. If you don't find them comfortable, buy the extra large ones. And by all means have fun. Going on birth control does not mean you're a slut. Never feel bad about going on birth control, no matter the reason. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.